What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, talking about that grass looks greener and the discussion of the possibility of it returning to unlimited status, going back to 3 on the next TCG ban list, whenever the hell that is, and why I believe that that would be a colossal mistake by Konami and just one of the dumbest things that they've done in recent memory. It seems like they do so much dumb shit in this game, it's almost hard to keep up. Obviously, this discussion was spawned by Cap's good friend, Johnny Chan, Mr. John Moore over here at House of Champions. I actually believe he's live streaming right now as I make this video. You guys should definitely check him out. Feel like my good buddy John, they've been smoking a little too much of that grass when he came up with that idea for the video. Obviously, we got to throw a Kappa on there. I'm just joking around. I know somebody's like, oh my goodness, Cap says John smokes weed every day. Call up Keemstar 420, blaze it.
Let's get into the news!
Anyways, that's just a joke. Obviously, like in the Zexo era, it was quite common for YouTubers to disagree, make video responses, and it would just kind of start a discussion, etc., etc. But anyways, these are just my points and my feelings on grass possibly returning to 3. I don't like the idea of that. I actually really didn't enjoy the game when this card was at 3, but let me go ahead and talk about some of the points that John made in his video. One of the biggest things that I want to address is the whole X card counters X broken card, thus, you know, X card can come back. I feel like just no, stop. I'm going to nip that in the bud. I'm not having it. We're not going to play this whole game of, well, you can counter that grass looks greener with Ash Forehead, and everybody's playing Ash Forehead in the meta, thus that grass looks greener is now a balanced card. Because if we're going to do that, then how deep down the rabbit hole do we go? I mean, do we stop complaining about Masterpiece and Trident and Zodiac Barrage, clearly broken cards that are already all banned in the OCG, just because there are certain meta counters to them? Like, okay, Cap, you know, Zodiac Barrage 100% confirmed balance because you can MST it. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. So the entire concept of Ash Forehead can negate that grass looks greener, it's going to resolve less. Like, I don't even want to hear that argument. The second thing is, yes, there are obviously some decks that, you know, they received a little bit of a nerf, that obviously their power ceiling was reduced, but you can't really say that there are any decks that are like unplayable or that have been massively just taken out of the meta. Most of these decks would have gotten power creep by full power Zodiacs. Well, I mean, full power Zodiac, just the current Zodiacs anyways. Like, I don't believe that if grass was at 3 right now, Paleozoic would somehow be like a meta relevant deck. In fact, if you look at some of the decks that were mentioned, like Minerva Sworn, Paleozoic, Zombies, Infernoids, some of these decks already won YCSs without grass, like way before grass came out. Paleozoics won 2 YCSs just this year alone. I believe that in one of them he was running grass. I think it was Josh Schmidt. But obviously these decks can be successful. Hell, Infernoids went undefeated out of YCS. Obviously this was back when Reasoning was at 3, so that's a completely different can of worms to open. But these decks, like, I feel like it's on the player. If you're playing Minerva Sworn or Paleozoic or Zombies, shame on you if you don't know, if you're not good enough to build your deck without the crutch that is that grass looks greener. Like, these decks existed before grass, they'll exist after grass, and I really don't understand what the problem is. It's not like grass is an archetype specific card. This isn't like apples and oranges. If somebody came to me and said, damn it, Cap, I can't build an awesome version of Necros because I don't have Charette and I've only got 1 Unicorn and my Brio's always getting Mind Crush, I'd be like, you know what, you got a very good point, bro. Like, half your deck shit is on the ban list. So yeah, I understand why your deck sucks. But if you came to me and you're like, Cap, I can't build a good Paleozoic deck because grass is at 1, I'd be like, shut the fuck up and get good. I mean, as mean as that sounds, that's kind of just what it is. Like, you need to just be a better deck builder. But the biggest problem that I have with that grass looks greener, aside from it being an auto win card, which if you've ever played the game throughout like the 5Ds and the Zexo eras, like, no one likes auto win cards. Like, nobody likes when decks open, like when Dark Row won its YCS and it was super powerful. No one likes playing against Dark Row. Like, oops, I open card destruction, guess I win. Chaos Dragons, oops, I open with Future Fusion, guess I win. I don't know why I don't have I should have Gateway of the Six Samurai up here. That's like another perfect example. Like, no one likes going second against these decks. Your opponent opened up with that 1 card and it's like they just automatically win the duel. Auto win cards are not very fun to duel against. But my bigger problem than that, and that should be enough to just warrant grass never coming back to 3, unless it's like, you know, 3-4 years from now when the game is like completely different and it's like super power crypt, is I feel like it honestly is one of the most skillless cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, don't you guys feel like that? Like, have you ever seen somebody do something with grass and get a whole bunch of good cards and it be like skillful? Like, even the people who activate the grass and look at their graveyard afterwards, is there some type of great satisfaction? Because I compare it very similarly to cards like Soul Charge and Reasoning. I mean, when you activate them, I will absolutely say these cards are so much fun to do, but it's kind of like eating, you know, chocolate pancakes and ice cream for dinner as an adult. Like, it's like, woo, yeah, there's no rules. This card is so fun. I activate grass looks green or activate reasoning. I don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what's gonna happen. Woo, it's just randomness. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, that's really awesome for like a day or two, but do you want that every single day in the meta? Like, I don't. I mean, when you activate grass, it's essentially a giant microcosm of like Lightsworn, which is already, you know, it gave the game the mechanic of milling, which doesn't really have any skill involved in it. It's completely luck-based in a luck-based game. Like, that grass looks greener is so skillless. You activate the card, you have basically no control over what happens at all, and you just kind of have to live with the results. But when you open with grass and you mill, let's just say, I don't know, Wolf, let's say you're playing like a Minerva Sworn deck or whatever, you mill Wolf, Farfa, Glow Up Bulb, Electromagnetic Turtle, Snow, Unizombie, and I don't know, maybe a Mizuki or something like that. Like, do you feel like you outskilled me or something like that because you hit that random set of cards? And some people are gonna be like, well, Cap, you named a lot of really good cards to mill. You generally get like 20 cards with the mill. It's not like that's impossible. Even if you only got half the cards, is it any more skillful? Is it any less skillful? Like, it's a completely random result. There are some really creative deck ideas and decks that you can probably have their power ceiling increase by that grass looks greener, but is it ultimately healthy to have such an incredibly powerful card that has absolutely no skill involved with it, that has basically no cost? Yes, I understand you have to play a 60 card deck, but like, why would you want that in the game? Why would you want that element of randomness in a game where everybody already complains about randomness? I honestly see that grass looks greener as one of the stupidest, like, unhealthiest cards for the game. Very similar to Reasoning and Soul Charge. And actually, the last thing I kind of want to touch on before I end this video is how having grass at 3 kind of warps the meta. See, the difference between grass and some of the other auto win cards and other cards that I feel like are completely skillless is when you have grass at 3, you have all of these like really terrible, inconsistent decks that have no business topping regionals. You guys know what I'm talking about, the 60 card Burning Abyss Shadows and the Minerva Sworns, where it's like every card in the entire deck's purpose is just to like find its way to the graveyard or be summoned on the field and mill more cards, aka Raiden, etc., etc. I really did not like that, because basically what you get is you get like all of these decks that are actually doing well, and there's too many games where it's like, oh, well, how'd you win the last round? Oh yeah, I opened grass game 1 and I won. Oh, and then what happened game 2? I lost. And then game 3, I opened grass again and I won. Like, what like, don't you guys feel like when grass was at 3, that's how so many different Yu-Gi-Oh duels were? It's like, oh, I got grass by turn 2, I won, and I lost because I didn't get grass by turn 2. Like, I don't want the game to be so predicated around one card that it warps like a decent amount of deck building. Like, I feel like having grass at 3 just takes good deck building and throws it out the window. Like, oh man, I could play the shittiest deck in the world as long as I hit one of them copies of grass, because that copy of grass is, you know, something that can kind of make up for like 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. The power of this card is so absurd, and I still get my battle phase, still get to attack, still get the normal summon, special summon, all I want. Just matters if I can get to that card in my first turn. So honestly, I would not even mind if they ban that grass looks green. This is like one of the dumbest cards I think Konami has ever created. I said that when the card first came out. I said by the end of the year, it won't be at 3. I didn't expect it to happen so soon, but we kind of all realized when this card first was revealed, like, this card is fucking cancer. It just needs to stay at 1, needs to go in the corner like Reasoning, never be seen from again, because I would like some semblance of skillful Yu-Gi-Oh to kind of define the competitive meta. But if you guys disagree, that's perfectly fine. Just let me know in the comment section below. Or if you guys agree, let me also know in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and please turn on the notifications so you get the daily videos. This video has been brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audible.com/MegaCapitalG. Over 180,000 audiobooks to choose from. I'm listening to the very, very interesting Pegged by My Kawaii Anime Waifu. Link in the description.